Today I'll be showing you guys my new Amorphage deck profile, showing you guys the pros and cons between the new archetype in Shining Victories. So just like the homunculus from Fullmetal Alchemist, these monsters are named after the 7 deadly sins. What made this archetype interesting is that the scales effect, which acts like floodgates against both players, but there's ways around it just because that you're using the archetypes to actually get passed through it. So with that in mind, let's get straight to the deck profile.
Alright guys, so let's start with the monster line with 3 prides. First of all these monsters in this archetype has shared the same effect, which is that when it's pendulum summon or a flip face up, both players cannot special summon from the extra deck. So this way that if you're playing against a deck that's heavily relying on special summon from the extra deck, such as pendulum summon, exceed summon, fusion summon, this card will prevent all of that. So what made this archetype very interesting is that the scales effect, which provides some sort of floodgate card into it. So with this, it prevents effect damage. So if you're playing some sort of burn deck or a deck that can actually burn some cheap effects to actually get the easy win, this way this card can prevent it often, but most of the time you're going to use this as a beast deck, and I'll tell you why in a second. The next card I'm playing is a setup of Wrath. Wrath scales effect is basically the master trick, so no tribute whatsoever. This includes tribute summon, ritual summon, and any spells or traps that actually use it as a effect for a cost to activate the effect. So the reason why I play a set of these two, because it's basically that they're the beast deck of the deck, and this the only way that you can actually inflict damage unless you're going for the tribute summon of these of the higher level monsters. So great cards and necessary to have in 3. Now, Amorphage Greed. Greed is basically preventing both players from activating trap cards besides Amorphage monsters. So a great way to counter any decks that heavily rely on trap cards. Now I play 2 Envy. Envy prevents both players from activating cards until they're from Chainlink 2 or higher. And as you can see, both cards are have 0 attack but very high defense, so they're basically ideal cards to tribute fodder for the scales effect to keep them on the field. Now we're going for the level 2 monsters, and first we're going to show you the Amorphage Lechery. This is a card that prevents both players from activating spell cards, and this is a great card if you, especially going against cards like Performable Pals base decks that kind of take advantage of using the scale. If you actually go first and set this out in the scale, you're able to prevent your opponents from activating crucial cards like Monkey Keyboard or the new Performer Pals such as Unicorn to actually place on their opponent's side of the scale and actually do some pendulum summon or activating some crucial effects. Now I'm playing a set of the Gluttony. Gluttony is basically a great card going against cards like Cosmo or Burning Abyss because it prevents both players from activating their effects. So these are level 2 monsters, and as you can see, Lechery is the one with the actual attack points, while Gluttony has very high defense. Even though these are level 2, these monsters are not able to special summon from the extra, such as Pendulum Summon, just because that all these scales of the monster is range between 3 or 5, so you're just basically forcing yourself to special summon these level 4 monsters, which Lechery and Gluttony are not capable of. So they basically just sitting there in the extra deck unless you find some way to actually bring them out. So these are your level 4 and 2 monsters on the main deck board. Now, for your tribute monsters, you have 1 level 6, which is Sloth. Sloth prevents both players from adding cards from their deck to their hand, so it's like a mistake. But the thing is that I have a problem with Sloth is that there's some cards that supporting this archetype that contradict one another when it comes to Sloth. Well, I'll explain more about it later, but Sloth is your secret rare, and I recommend really 1 is because it's not really necessary. And not only that, but I don't think this is crucial unless you're playing against a deck that actually search a lot to the deck. So if you want to play extra Sloth inside deck, go ahead, be my guest, because right now Sloth at 1 will be just fine for it as of now. And now I play 2 Goliath. Goliath is basically the macrocosm of the deck, so anything that's banished to the graveyard besides Amorphage cards are being banished instead. So a great card to have, especially when you play a deck that has heavy reliance on the graveyard, so this is a great card to counteract with that. And this is a tribute monster to bring out, and as you can see, like I pointed out before, the Amorphage tribute monster has the ability to actually activate their effect, monster effect to be more exact, when they're summoned. So there's no need a special requirement to actually activate them. As long as you can bring it out into the board, it's all good from there. Now I play 2 Eccentric Archfiend. As you can see, I do have 1 proxy right here. I had to give 1 back to my friend that was borrowing 2, just because I did use 1 for the tournament, but 2 was good enough for me to actually use. But Eccentric Archfiend is a great card to have because it goes along with the support cards that I'm going to show you guys later. But this way, you're able to pop spells and trap cards and clear the way for your Pendulum Summon, so you don't have to worry that much. As well as with the Scales of 7, you actually can bring out Sloth to the field without tributing it to without tribute summoning it. So great card to have. I played 2 Jerigato. Again, I'm going to explain more about it when I explain more of the support cards that actually help these monsters. Also, Jerigato has the ability to search summon itself and increase its attack to one of your monsters. The one thing about these Amorphage monsters and their support cards is that you can go up to between 2,000 attack and 2,500 attack, depending on how many cards you have on the field, and sometimes you just need a little more push to get over some of your opponent's bigger monsters. So Jerigato does give you the advantage from that. And that's pretty much it for the monster lineup. Now for the spell lineup, I played 3 Persona. Persona is the field card that gives all your Amorphage monsters 300 attack and defense, and then twice per turn, if a Amorphage monster is tribute, you're able to draw a card for that. So a great way to actually speed up your hand and actually have more setup for play. But the only problem is that when you actually activate the tribute, most of the time you have to wait until the next turn to actually activate and draw. And that's only if you have actually Scales on your side of the field and tribute fodder that actually survive on your side of the field. Next, I played 3 Infection. Infection is a great card to have just because of it gives your monster 100 attack for each Amorphage card on your side of the field. That's including monsters, spells and traps, and monsters from the Scales Pendulum Zone. So this is a great way to actually increase your weak monsters into something more devastating to get over your opponent's level 4 beat stick. But it has an additional effect, is that when it's destroyed by battle, card effect, or being tribute, you're able to search for a Amorphage card from your deck to your hand, and that's a great card to have because sometimes you just need looking for a crucial card to actually take advantage of what's currently on the field. And this way, when I was mentioning Jerigato and where was it? Archfiend Eccentric was a crucial card to actually use for this deck, just because of it has the ability to tribute itself to, in this way, while Infection is on the field, you're able to search out for an Amorphage card and add it to your hand. Because sometimes you can't wait until you activate the your Scales effect to keep it on the field by tributing a monster, or tributing or using the Persona's effect to tribute so you can ritual summon an actual Amorphage monster from your hand to the field. And so this way you can have a little more leeway to actually search what you need faster. So that's now I played the Upsell Goblin. Upsell Goblin just basically just for me to thin out my deck and be faster. Also, if you don't like Upsell Goblin, you can play Pod Duality. Pod Duality allows you to have more diversity in what you want to actually set up for your field. But the real only reason why I don't play it is because that sometimes when you actually do have a setup, especially mid or late game, you don't want to actually play Paladuali, because sometimes you do want to pendulum summon and have tribute fodder for your scales to stay on the field, and Paladuali does prevent you from Surge Summon period for the rest of the turn. And Obstacle seems like just more safer choice. And now I played the one Rugeki, just standard, just so I can get rid over big beast deck that my monster can't go over ideally. So alright, for the trap card, I play a set of Amorphage Litus. This is a trap card that gives my opponents 100 decrease for attack and defense for each Amorphage card I control. So basically same concept as Infection, but decreasing it instead. Also, when the Pendulum skill is destroyed, I am able to search out for my deck a Pendulum monster, Amorphage monster to be more exact, and place it onto that scale. So combining with the Eccentric Archfiend, I'm able to actually search out for Amorphage monster and replace it after it uses the effect to pop spells and trap. Great card to have. And also, again, if a Amorphage monster I want to destroy by its own effect during the standby phase, I can replace it with something better. And so it's a great card to have, necessary to play at 3. I'm playing 2 of the Reborn, Pendulum Reborn, just because that allows me to switch from a Pendulum monster from my extra deck or my graveyard to the field. So sometimes you want to set a or place a Pendulum or Morphage monster on your scale. So by your opponent's turn, you can play this card and then actually have something active currently, so you can actually prevent your opponents from playing their crucial card that you're trying to prevent them from activating. For the rest, standard, Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 strikes and a warning, and that's pretty much it.
So overall in this deck profile, this is a very interesting playstyle what we have here. This is something refreshing, but at the same time this is a bit slow and it takes a bit of time to set up what you want to play. For all you budget players out there, this is a great deck to pick up since a lot of the cards in this archetypes are easy to get and you don't have to invest into an extra deck thanks to the Amorphage monster effect, which they all share, just because that they prevent both players from special summon from the extra deck. So that's pretty much my time with this video. If you guys have any input of how to make this deck a little better, please leave a comment down below. I want to thank our sponsor Blowout Cards for providing us all these cards. And if you like this video and you want to see some more, please like, comment, and subscribe. This is Park from Team Shockwave, signing out.